What goes on during a normal day of swim practice?
Well, like, I'll go back to, I'm gonna go back to last year. Just to go back on and show you how our things have changed. Last year, we practiced 3 to 5, and we just practiced with the boys. And then there would be days that we practice, we get out of the water and we might do stuff on the pool deck, or we might go in the weight room, and we may be there till 6. This year, we changed it up a little bit where we are practicing with the girls, but a day now consists basically, we're in the water at 3. We don't get out until about 20 after 5, 5:30 in that realm. And then they get about 10 minutes to go in the locker room, grab, if they want to change, they can change. Most of them we tell them to bring like a little snack or something. Then we're doing another half hour, 40 minutes of stuff on the deck, and we're doing it pretty much every day. We didn't meet last Friday. Last Thursday, I don't think we got out of here until about 6:45. So we're actually spending more time doing things, but in reality, we're not doing more than what we were doing in the past. Like, my boys get all worked up that we're in the water till 5:30. All right, and if I showed you our practices, what we tell them is that, let's just say we swim 6,000 meters in a practice, and we're still swimming 6,000 meters, but we're doing it in 2.5 hours now instead of 2 hours. So we're kind of spreading things out. They all focus, and if you swim, obviously one of the things you're always looking at is there's a giant clock on the wall, and it tells you when you should be going after each swim. And I'm trying to tell my kids to stop worrying about that clock, meaning the time clock, and worry more about the pace clock. Worry about what your times are doing, because your times are going to drop if you stop worrying about every 5 minutes saying to yourself, well, I shouldn't be here now. I should be doing something. I should be doing this. We signed up to be a varsity sport. This is how we're going to improve.
Who is your toughest or most important matchup?
St. Augustine was probably going to be the toughest, only because, as they're usually top 5 in the state. Tomorrow we have Egg Harbor Township, who's decent. It'll give us a good test, better than what we've had. Pretty confident we should be okay for that one. And then the second half of the year, it really looks like we'll be getting ready for Vine. The boys are historically strong and give us the toughest match.
Some people have said this team has the talent and the potential to be one of the best in the Atlantic history. Would you agree?
I do. The way we do to get into our playoffs, because that's obviously what you want to look at. You're going to look at how we're going to do at the end of the year. To get into the playoffs, it's not just if we win or we lose. It really has nothing to do. I could lose almost every one of my matches, and I could still qualify in the playoffs in a higher seed, because the way it works is every person that swims, the first 2 relays, and every individual that swims in the individual event, whatever their time is, it equates to a point. Like, I have a chart that I would have to go through, and if you swam 100 free in a minute, you might get 100 points, where if someone did it in 55 seconds, they'd get 110 points. But I have to add up all those points, and it ends at the end, and I add it up at the end, and I get a point total. And I did it for our St. Augustine meet, and we were already higher in our first meet this year than what we were, I think, the last 2 years as an average. And I have to put my highest 2 points meets in as an average. And to do that in our first meet of the year, it's pretty impressive to beat, because usually we rest up and we get ready to swim some big meets. And the first meet, we're really not resting too much because we're only 2 weeks into our season. That being said, it is going to be difficult for us in the playoffs. We're considered a small school. We're actually the biggest of the small schools in South Jersey. And Morristown boys are, I think they're ranked like 3rd in the state, who are extremely good. So they made it. I think they went to the state finals last year for the small schools and lost by like 2 points, and unfortunately didn't lose anyone off of their team from last year. So it's going to be difficult to get through South Jersey with them, but we'll do the best we can.
Wonder Swimmers are in a category or like event. Do they remain there for the season, or do you guys change that?
No, it changes. we try and change it as much as we can. That way, it's harder for people to scout out what you're gonna do. You know, the first meet against St. Augustine, and actually the meet that I'm gonna swim tomorrow, if you came to the St. Augustine meet and you come tomorrow, it would look pretty similar. I have a couple changes I'm making, you know, with my top kids. You pretty much know where your top kids are gonna be to make your team the fastest. Some of them stay the same, but then when we have some of these easier meets, it's nice to move them around and give them a chance to do other events.
What was your most memorable one?
Probably winning the whole state in 2003. We swam up at the College of New Jersey against Princeton High School, beat them for the state title.
Who are some of your younger swimmers that are stepping up in and out of the water?
Well, it would be Brian McGrody, Justin Liu, Derek Kniezel is doing a very good job for us this year. He's a sophomore boy. Brandon Trong's been probably one of our better swimmers. He's a junior. That's it? Yeah, go ahead.
What do you feel works best coaching style wise? Like a more aggressive approach or a more positive reinforcement?
I think it depends on your team. I think it depends on where you are in your season. There's times that I think we have to be tough and you have to, you know, kind of not let up on kids to get what you want out of them. But there's also times that you have to kind of be the gentle one and let them kind of express themselves and have fun and do what they need. It just really depends on where we are in our season and what we want to accomplish. So I think it's kind of a little bit of both.
What advice do you give to your younger swimmers on the team?
Survive. You know, it's there's a couple of things. It almost goes back to the last question in terms of coaching. There's a couple areas. Obviously, one area I don't really go into too much is their locker room. All right, I try and keep that as their area for them to do what they want to do. But I also understand, you know, and I'm sure as many of you in here are athletes that that you sign forms that say you're not going to haze and you're not going to do this and you're not going to do that. Am I going to sit here and say that, you know, 4 days, you know, later do I hear, oh, I heard your boys were in the shower doing, you know, nothing bad. We're not doing the bad stuff, but they do learn. I don't know. They have little rituals, and I'm sure. I mean, I know they do some. They soap it up and they slide across the floor back and forth. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't really want to know what it is. Right? That's their area. But I know that some people get a little nervous about it, and as long as they can, you know, withstand some good humor, you know, otherwise just work hard. That's all we ask you.
If there was one thing you want your swimmers to take away after this year, what would it be?
Trophies. Just the general positive experience. You know, that they had a good season. You know, that they worked hard, they achieved goals, and you know, joined up to be the best they can be.
Who do you expect to contribute the best this year?
It's tough. It's tough to just name one, because in a meet I've got kids that swim 4 events each, and I'm relying on a number of different kids to do 4 events. So to just say one, you know, obviously our seniors, you always want to sit there and say you hope your seniors are going to be, you know, contribute the most. But in a swim meet, it's not just one person wins a meet. You know, it goes from first race to last, inside lane to outside lane, that you're hoping everyone does the best. So it's pretty hard to answer that one with just a person's name.